What makes Vax 3 different than Vax 1 and 2?
Vax 3 is about the COVID-19 response. And yes, it is about reactions to the COVID-19 vaccine, probably the most horrifying, the most damaging vaccine that's been ever introduced into society. But in addition to that, were hospital protocol stories where people going in that were unvaccinated were really targeted. A lot of them went through a protocol that led to really what we believe is their murder.
So can you describe the difference in treatment you would get if you were presented in a hospital with COVID if you were unvaxxed versus people who were vaxxed?
There were different sets of protocols and care standards, and they were done under the guise of, they're unvaccinated, they're going to have more severe COVID, which we know, in hindsight is not really the truth. Straight away, the unvaccinated were given repurposed Ebola drugs like remdesivir, that was still on patent. Remdesivir was a blockbuster and a moneymaker for Anthony Fauci and the National Institutes for Allergies and Infectious Diseases. But it was also a drug that in its Ebola clinical trials killed half of the patients. And so that was given straight away. These patients were very aggressively and very quickly put on mechanical ventilation. Mechanical ventilation is very bad for you. It dries out the lungs, and they kept on mechanical ventilation. And then if they resisted and wanted to leave the hospital, then they were given a cocktail of drugs, including things like fentanyl, propofol, and morphine. And then in some cases, if they resist, they were put on 4-point restraints. Their cell phones were taken away. They could not contact their loved ones. And then ultimately they'd end up in ICU, and then they would die. And this was a treatment that we heard over and over again. And people were asked when they got into the hospital, are you vaccinated? Are you unvaccinated? And we believe that these protocols then were used in some ways to really put the thumb on the scales to show, unvaccinated people are dying in hospitals more.
Everybody should go to vax.3.org, check out where that movie's playing, and go see it. I'm going to go see it.